Hey there, it's your friend Phil, Project Management Trainer and Coach. Welcome to 40 Days to PMP and CAPM Exam Success. Today, we're taking a look at the last two processes in the Monitoring and Controlling Process Group. Yep, it's come down to the wire, folks. Today, we're talking about control procurements and control stakeholder engagement. Now, these are going to be rather quick because they are very similar to the other monitoring and controlling processes that we've talked about. So control procurement is the process in which the project manager and the team are involved in managing the contract to make sure that what was agreed upon is being delivered, to make sure that the seller is performing to the quality standard, to the efficiency level that was outlined in the contract. So it's all about contract control. So as an input here, we have, as usual, the project management plan. We also have the procurement documents that are relevant. Any procurement documents, whatever they are relevant here as an input. The contract is a big one, and for that reason agreement is an input here. And we also have the work performance report that only shows up once in a blue moon. It's here, along with work performance data. So think about it. If you're managing a contract, you want to get reports to effectively manage it. You want to know how well the vendor is performing. And the way you know how well they're performing is by asking for a report, or by running a report of some sort to show you the performance levels. And as usual, all of the controlling processes, we know that they all give us work performance information, and for that reason we need to have work performance data as an input to this process so that we can get work performance information as an output. So WPD going in, WPI coming out, pretty standard. It follows all the other controlling processes. Now, as we are controlling this procurement, we need to have the change control approach for the contract. So the system for making any changes to the contract needs to be understood and needs to be used. We call that a contract change control system. We need to also have agreed on how we're going to sort out any problems or solve any disagreements on the project. So the contract is very important, but we also have an aspect called claims administration. If there are any claims being made, breach of contract or one thing or another, usually mediation would be the preferred approach, but you could also have arbitration or litigation. So those are terms to be familiar with in this process. As part of this process, the seller wants to get paid, so payment systems are important. Performance reporting is used to report on performance because you've got work performance reports going into this process. So take note of performance reporting, not very common. And we also have procurement performance reviews. These reviews help us understand how well the procurement is going. Okay, and that's pretty much it. We have the records management system, I beg your pardon. Records management systems are used to store any records revolving around these procurements. The major outputs you get, as usual, WPI is a big one, work performance information coming out, change requests, and the usual updates, project management plan updates, project documents updates, and OPA updates. I'll just say it again, if you haven't already realized that almost every controlling process has these outputs: WPI, work performance information, change requests, PMP updates, PD updates, and lots of them have OPA updates. If you haven't noticed that, I want you to take a close look again and look at these commonalities. Okay, and that's really it for control procurement. It's all about controlling the contract, managing the contract, and making sure that everything is going according to plan. That's really what this is all about. Now, the final process we're talking about today is control stakeholder engagement. Control stakeholder engagement, you can't control people, but you can control how intentional you are as a PM to get folks engaged. So it's all about you doing everything possible to not just monitor how engaged stakeholders are, but also to bring the level of engagement back into alignment with the original plan. So if you had planned that a stakeholder should be in a leading role, should be all the way out there in the forefront with you, sharing the vision, being passionate about the project, attending the meetings, and bringing on board new allies for the project, if that is not happening, then the job of the PM and the team is to ask, what can we do to bring the level of engagement back into alignment with what we had planned? So again, you're going to have your regular suspects. Work performance data is going into this process, along with the project management plan. You also have going in issue log. We want a log of all issues, to be aware of these issues, so that we can make modifications while there is still time. We also have project documents, and these project documents are talked about on page 78. This is a catch-all for all manner of documents that could be an input to this process. Tools and techniques are expert judgment, which you definitely need in order to control a stakeholder's engagement. Expertise from the team. You would have meetings, another tool and technique to be able to share good ideas. And information management systems will help you manage information surrounding stakeholders, their level of engagement, and other associated variables. The output of this process, as usual, WPI. Can you finish it off? I just told you what the recurring themes are, right? WPI, change requests, PMP updates, PD updates, and OPA updates, which could be lessons learned, as well as updates to any templates and tools that may have changed. So I hope this makes sense, because we are at the end of today's lesson. We have gone through controlling procurement and controlling stakeholder engagement. Now, what makes stakeholder engagement difficult for people is they cannot distinguish between manage stakeholder engagement, control stakeholder engagement, manage communications, and control communications. I would advise you to go over the days again to truly understand this. So thank you for your audience today. I wish you all the best in your studying, and I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow.